Hello everybody and welcome back to I Was a Teenage Exocolonist. It's time for us to continue through year 2. We've still got some stuff to do, we've got some friendships to raise, but we're gonna get started by probably going outside of camp and exploring a little while, seeing what we could find. Ooh, like this flower, which I'm going to give to Tammy. I believe she likes the flowers. Here you go. Ah, she squeals and dances. I love flowers, even weird alien ones. And yellow is my favorite color, too. Perfect. Alright, 28, 27, 30, 28, 28, 26. Alright, Anemone and Cal, I can probably raise their friendship the highest at Vertunalia if we do bot wrestling, so that's what we're probably going to do. But for now, I'm going to go outside, see if I can catch Sim somewhere. The sooner we meet him, the better. He is my future husband, after all. Well, one of them. There's going to be two. Yes. Alright, so this is the hot buy that pounces at you. What if I give up? Just to see. You are overwhelmed and given a good kicking by the ferocious, but still seriously cute little jerks. You suddenly hear a loud thumping nearby, like someone rhythmically stomping the ground. All the hot pies perk their enormous ears up in fright and start thumping their own feet on the ground in time to the rhythm. They all skitter off into the jungle. You're bruised all over, but nothing is broken. As you gingerly push yourself up to your feet, you could swear you see a shadowy figure slip back into the jungle. Ooh! I saw you again, Sim! Alright, we only need to do that one more time. But we explored the entire jungle, so it's gonna have to wait until next year, probably. It's time for the 3rd annual Vertunalia Festival. You gather with your family in the colony square. Everyone takes a seat as Governor Udicott approaches the stage. She folds her hands and serenely addresses the crowd. "What a pleasure to address you all today as your governor," she says, looking as pleased as she ever does. "In under 3 years, we've built a colony of which we can truly be proud. While we've suffered the hardships and losses, we remain standing, as always, looking toward the future we are building together. Let us use this midsummer festival as a time to reflect on our many blessings," Udicott continues. "Fresh water, good food, healthy children, and a strong community." You look around at the crowd, your friends, your parents, and other adults who have been the background radiation of your entire life. These are the closest human beings around for light years, and they are all your family. "I would like to formally recognize your youngest council member ever, Utopia, representing Expeditions." Udicott gestures for Utopia and Uncle Tonin to join her on stage. "Thank you, Melatonin, for your years of service as head of Expeditions." Tonin gives Utopia's shoulder a squeeze. "Utopia's been ready for this since we landed. I'll be staying back to work with the comms from here, so I'm always a call away if you need me." Udicott invites the rest of the council to stand and be recognized among the crowd, including your mom, who huffs in annoyance. When the applause dies down and the council sits, Utopia remains standing. "Actually, Auntie Udicott, y'all mind if I make a quick announcement?" Udicott nods and Utopia clears her throat. "I just wanted to say thanks to y'all who are trusting me to do this job," she says, her clear voice ringing out over the crowd. She says, wait. A cheer rises from Expeditions and she motions for them to quiet down. "Uncle Tonin's left some big shoes to fill and, well, I'm gonna give it my best. We've been finding some mighty interesting stuff out there," she continues. "As we fly further, we're seeing some kind of magnetic interference when we're trying to send word back to Colony Prime. But we're doing well out there, and we'll get the kinks worked out soon." She bends down to hug the governor as she leaves the stage. "Thank you, Utopia," Udicott says warmly, "and thank you to the rest of the council for your service." Live music starts playing, and Udicott smiles. "And now, it's time for games and feasting." The crowd disperses towards the feasting table, clearing the area of chairs so the children's competitions can be held. Which will you do this year? The bot triathlon. I need the, friendship with Cal and Anemone. Com keeps adding complexity to his bot wrestling game. Last year was the hollow obstacle course. This year there's an accuracy challenge. "Sink 3 baskets and you can move on to the next stage," Com says, unveiling something with a flourish. A vacuum bot with a basket tied to its head. It chirps as it stomps back and forth and the crowd cheers. You're competing against Nemi and Cal. You notice they're not racing around together. Cal is playing with the vacuum bot as Nemi is standing next to her brother. You're up first. Start the triathlon. I already got their friendship, so I don't need to win, but I want to win, you know? You thought the accuracy portion would be harder. Those vacubots can be fast when they're on a mission. This one seems to get bored waiting for you to complete the obstacle course, so by the time you take up your shots with the sports ball, it's stopped running around and it's taken to carefully vacuuming the dirt under its feet. You easily sink your baskets and move on to the wrestling competition and win by a huge margin. Nemi pounces and stomps over to Calm, yelling that it wasn't fair that you got it easy. She refuses to speak to you until Calm sits you both down and makes you shake hands, pointing out that Nemi also got hit by 5 hollow obstacles and couldn't have won anyway. Nemi begrudgingly accepts your win. After the festivities, you take time off for a much-needed, very relaxing break. Your dad sets up a slip and slide through the colony square, and everyone takes turns sliding on their stomachs and spraying water at each other. It's a lot of fun. You can feel your worries floating away in the hot dust suns. Nice. Oh! Extra card draw. Nice. I like it. Hang on, before I talk to... Ooh, I've got a lot of people to talk to. First, I'm going to give you this. That way you're going to be above 30. Oh, and I can talk to you now. There's so many people to talk to. All right, let's see. 29, 30, 31, 28, 27, 30. All right, we need to focus on... You're going to be easy, and then you two. So let's see. Oh, we have a lot of people to talk to first. Tammy. Or no, Tangent. Tangent is deep in conversation with one of the other scientists. He seems to be consoling her, though Tangent's face betrays no emotion, as he claps her on the shoulder and reassures her that she's doing really well for someone so young, and that everyone compromised some of their samples when they were first learning. He leaves, and Tangent sighs as she goes to put her head in her hands, stopping short when she realizes she's still wearing gloves. She peels them off and digs her fingers into her eyes. What's up, Tang? Tang grimaces. Just great. Well, I compromised an experiment I was working on because the vent was still open when I was spraying the workstation down with sanitizer. She sniffs. It's so gross here, she says. I probably did that fungus a favor. Tangent takes a bottle of sanitizer from under her workbench and cleans while she speaks. There are pollen spores everywhere, she whines, and he comes over here and tells me it'll be okay, Tang, like it's his job to console and patronize me. I hate being patronized too. You both sigh in unison. I hate being young, she says bitterly. Why don't they understand that we have higher expectations for ourselves than they do? I need to learn from my own failures. What I don't need, she continues icily, is someone to pat me on the head and tell me it's okay and the adults will make it all better. I messed up, she says. Just let me fix it. Don't make a big deal about it like I'm a child with a boo-boo. I won't, I promise. Here, you know what? Might as well get a head start on your friendship, too. I have a lot of these. Alright, what's up, Cal? The garden looks deserted. Oh, are we gonna meet Socks? Which is strange. Cal's usually here, taking care of the animals, or playing in the dirt, or fetching things for the adults. You spot a pair of dirt-streaked legs dangling over a piece of equipment, and clamber up beside Cal on the sun-warmed metal. Oh, not yet. Cal is distracted by something in his hands. He looks up as you sit down. Oh, hey, Abby, he greets you. I didn't hear you, buddy. Sorry. Look what Tammy gave me, he says, holding out a weirdly shaped doll with green, stringy hair and lopsided eyes. She's the best, he says proudly. It's so cool that she can make stuff from what other people think is just garbo junk. He lies back against the machine and raises the doll to the sky, letting it block the sunlight from his face. Tammy's my best friend, he continues. I know we all grew up together, but, Tammy's really special, you know? Yeah, she really is. Cal looks pleased. I'm glad you think so. We used to play together all the time on the stratospheric, all the time. Man, I remember this one time. Cal squints into the sun and rubs his chin. Sorry, before you got here, I was just thinking about how when we were 4 years old, I promised her that we would get married when we were old enough. Anemone teases me about it. She thinks that it doesn't count because we were just kids, but I keep thinking about it, you know? He looks down at the doll in his hands. It's truly ugly, but maybe that's part of the charm. What do you think, Yabby? That's so romantic. Cal smiles, and his cheeks turn a little pink. Do you think so? Really? Oh man, that's... He looks away from you and strokes his thumb idly over the face of the doll, where the stitching was done with a little more care. It almost looks like Tammy meant the doll to look like Cal. Well, if you squint. Thanks, Yabby, Cal says quietly. That means a lot. I hope she feels the same way. You and Cal spend the rest of the afternoon basking in the warm sunshine and chatting about growing up on the stratospheric. He gets a little quiet whenever Tammy comes up again, but otherwise it's a perfectly happy day. Aw, you're in love. What about you, Dees? Dees is sitting in the bed of one of the expedition vehicles, tinkering with a bit of tech. He tries to hide it when he sees you, but it's in so many pieces that he only manages to shove some behind him before he gives up and glares at you mistrustfully. What do you want? What are you doing? Dees squints at you. Promise you won't tell on me, he says. Promise! They weren't using it, he starts, already sounding defensive, as he turns to the biggest piece of the device over in his hands. I was just sitting there at command, so when they weren't looking, I took it. And no one noticed. He seems excited by this fact. I think it's part of the communication device, he says thoughtfully, so I'm trying to figure out how it works. I want to talk to the aliens. Wait, what if you tried this? Dees watches you intently as you reassemble the pieces of the communication device. You hand it back to him and he flicks it on. It crackles to life with a roar of static. Dees almost drops it in shock. 4, go, out. How many, 4, over. Dees looks at you with wide eyes. He's smiling? The expression looks weird on his face, almost manic. Did you hear that? He says, practically vibrating with excitement. Those were words. I swear aliens are real. They're out there. Yeah, probably. Dees holds the device to his chest and strokes it. I knew it, he whispers. I knew it. People on Earth used to do stuff like this, thinking that it could pick up voices of ghosts, Dees says, but it was probably just radio waves. So I figure, if I'm looking for radio waves, aliens have to exist, he continues, quietly but with great conviction. They have to. You can't have this much life on a planet without some of it being smart like we are. He sighs. I just want to talk to them, he says. Maybe I'd fit in more with aliens than I do here. Anything is possible. Dees nods and looks outward into the mushroom forest. I know you're just trying to be nice, he says quietly. Even if you think we're really alone out here, and you're just lying to make me feel better, it's still nice. I'm not lying! I've seen him! He saved me from Popeyes! And he's hot? Alright, so let's see. Cal is at 30 now. Anemone, I can get up to 30 in a little bit. So we just need to do Mars and Tammy, and I think we could do Mars by doing some of this. Oh, I should check the supply depot too. Some persuasion would probably be good. What are my cards right now? Oh, I only have one. Well, I could always grab one of these. I'll save my money. Let's work in the depot. You attend a secret Fun Times Club meeting. Mars brings the meeting to order. Tang reads the minutes of the previous club meeting. Tammy serves flowery tea and soy sweets. First order of business is that I'm insinuating a new rule, Mars says, and then clears her throat. Rule 5, all members of the SFC must wear uniforms to all club meetings. She taps her holopalm and shows you her uniform idea. Black pants and dark blue shirts with high necklines and billowing at the cuffs. She definitely designed them according to her taste. Okay, but let's design better ones. You spend the next hour designing a club uniform, and everyone takes part. It becomes ridiculously elaborate. Tammy wants to add tassels to everything, and Cal insists it should include huge cowboy hats. Mars gets into a heated fight with Anemone over the type of shoes to allow, until Tang calculates how many kudos it will cost to print one of these uniforms on a nano printer, and you all realize you couldn't afford them anyway. We are broke. You come to a compromise. Instead of uniforms, you'll all wear a lapel pin with the club's logo. You spend the rest of the meeting designing SFC pins and printing them on the nano printer. If anyone doesn't have the kudos, Mars pays for them without complaint. We love you, Mars. Good enough. And that got us friendship with Mars. How we looking? 30. What's up, Mars? Mars is watching a vid from Earth on her holopalm. She gestures you over, and you sync your holopalm with hers. The audio track comes through your hearspeak. Mars knows every word. Besides you, she recites the dialogue perfectly along with the actors. Since the day we met, I devoted my life to finding you. I searched every train station, every coffee shop, every museum and park for you, she says. My every waking thought was only of you. Her voice goes higher. And I dreamed of you, she says. Every night my heart called to yours in the dark, and I never hoped to dream I would find you again. And I'm here now, she says, playing the first part again. I'm here, and I'm never leaving your side again. Mars drags her hand down her face as the couple in the vid kiss passionately. Ugh, she exclaims. I've seen this vid 100 times, and it always makes me want to yarts. They met on a train once and spend forever looking for each other. Like, move on, you know? It's not like living here where there's only like 100 people to pick from. You're in a huge city. Go find anyone else. Why do you keep watching it? Mars sighs, exasperated. I've already seen everything else worth watching. Before you can protest, she puts up a hand. Okay, fine. I do like the city parts. Like, isn't it post-real to imagine cities so big you could get lost in them? So many people that you can meet someone and then never see them again in your life? Mars waves away the vid screen. Sometimes I think I should have been born back on Earth, not on this dumb spaceship. She mock punches the hull of the ship behind her. All of those cities and people and the stuff you could do. Watching new vids, going to concerts, the only culture here is grown in a lab. Mars sighs dreamily. And the shopping. They have so much stuff on Earth, anything you could dream, not just some rubbish from our old nanoprinters. I'm bored of everything I own, Mars complains. Speaking of shopping, do you want to trade some kudos for one of my old jackets? My dad says I can't print more stuff until I get rid of something. I'd say 50 kudos sounds fair? Ooh, it's a good thing I didn't buy anything. Yeah, sure, why not? I really like this jacket. Mars takes off her jacket and watches critically as you try it on. Well, it matches your hair, she says, but it kind of puckers at the shoulder. It was really tailor-printed to fit me. She almost looks like she's going to take it back for a second, before putting up her hands in surrender. No, I admit, looks good on you. Makes you look posh. Thank you, Mars. I appreciate it. Alright, who should we... Let's spend some time with Tammy. Photophoner won't get us friendship, but it would get us creativity, so we should do that later, after we get everyone's friendship up. Cal spends a lot of time in the creche when he's not busy in the gardens. He likes to bring Tammy things to make her happy, even if it's just a warm cup of soup from the kitchens or a weird bug he found. Tammy's always really happy to see him, though, and treats every present like it's the best thing on the planet. Y'all are too cute. Literally getting cavities from you right now. Yes. Alright. I'm gonna give these to you. That way your friendship is even higher. That'll make it easier for me next year, because it's becoming a little difficult to balance all of you. You. And then this one. I know you like this one. There we go. Can give Nemi a stick. There you go. I know you don't like it. Oh! Nemi and Nougat are stomping on big mud puddles in the soft ground outside the garrison, passing a sports ball back and forth and chasing each other around. Nemi looks up as you approach and excitedly flails mud at you. Yabby, hey! She says, jumping up and down. Look! She bounces the sports ball on her knees. Look at what me and Nougat are practicing! Nemi bounces the sports ball from one knee to the other a few times before launching it up into the air. She crouches, leaps up after it, and spikes it with her head towards Nougat with a yell. The sports ball thuds into Nougat's chest, sending her sprawling to the dirt. For a second you freeze, waiting for the crying to start. Instead, Nougat shrieks and laughs, clutching the ball as Nemi jumps up and down and pumps her fists dramatically. 4 points for the ball not touching the ground after contact, Nemi crows. The crowd goes wild! The Garrison Galaxies win again! Whoa! Nougat cups her hands over her mouth, imitating the roar of a crowd. I could do better. Oh shoot, sorry. I was getting excited. Time travel. Wow, that's awesome. That's better. I know, right? Nemi beams. She stands up straighter and puts her hands on her hips. I'm gonna be just as good as my big bro someday, and Nougat will too. She rubs the back of her hand across her nose, leaving a smear of dirt. Hey, you should come by the sports ball pitch sometime. I could show you some tricks. Nemi and Nougat look at you expectantly. Okay, I will. Yay, great, Nemi says, bouncing on her feet. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Sports ball is like my favorite thing on the planet. Her eyes go wide. Maybe even the whole galaxy. Me too, Nougat yells from where she's still lying on the ground. She picks herself up and carefully puts the ball down in front of her, then kicks it to Anemone. Did you see that? Nemi laughs. She kicked the ball with her foot. Nougat's unnatural. She's already inventing new ways to play sports ball. Future Coach Nougat. Nougat puts her hands on her tiny hips. If you come to practice, you gotta play, she challenges, pointing at you. Nemi says I get to be coach, so it's my rules. You and Nemi both burst out laughing. Nougat is such a little character. I freaking love Nougat. In terms of background characters, she's definitely my favorite. She's adorable. Alright, let's see. Let's do more babysitting just so we can finish up with Tammy. Then we're all at good levels. And then I can spend the rest of the time leveling up my other skills. I think engineering, creativity. I don't really have anything for persuasion. A stomach bug is going through the creche right now, and everyone is absolutely miserable. You and Tammy have both missed the worst of it, but Antecedent and the majority of the kids are taking it pretty rough. Tammy is cleaning up a vomit incident by the holoprojector while you strip the affected kids and get them into the bath. You come out with a bundle of soiled clothes and trade off with Tammy, who gives you the mop and bucket to take back to the laundry room while she finishes up with the kids. After so long working together, especially during this latest crisis, you're getting pretty good at working as a team. Antecedent pops her head into the creche to check on you. There are broken capillaries under her eyes and her greasy hair is up in a bonnet, but she still gives you a tired smile. Then her nose wrinkles at the lingering smell of vomit. You're a hero, she says. Thank you so much for tackling the kids for me. You look down at the mop and bucket and dirty clothes in your hand. Does she think she did this all by herself? Tammy did most of the cleaning. Antecedent laughs. You're both doing great, she says. Please tell Tammy I'm very grateful for your help. She leaves, but not before sending you some kudos. Tammy comes out, holding one of the younger kids wrapped in a towel, the two older ones weaving tiredly behind her in robes. She's starting to look tired. I'm going to put these little Kiki to bed, she says. I should spray down the floor with some antiseptic too, and then I'll sterilize the bathtub, then... Well, I guess we'll need to sterilize the bottles again, and boil and cool some more water, and... Oh, by then the laundry will be done. You don't have to do everything yourself. Tammy puts on a determined smile. It's okay, she says. It's my job, right? We all need to do our best, and, well, I am. This is what people need me to be right now, that's all. Just make sure you take care of yourself. Tammy's nose goes pink like her hair. Oh, Yavi, she says. Don't worry about me. I do, just not when someone needs me. She takes the kids into the quiet room for their nap. Let me help you, Tammy. You don't need to do this all by yourself. Alright, let's take a look. 34, 32, 34, 35, 30, and 30. Aw, yeah. Tammy is crying and trying to hide it, wiping her eyes and blowing snot into her sleeve. What's the matter? She hiccups. I watched that scary movie last night in the lounge. You remember it, Mothra vs. Godzilla, the 2085 remake version. Well, sniffling. I had a bad dream where the monsters were knocking at my bedroom window. They were trying to get in. Now I can't stop thinking about it. I miss being in space. It was so much safer there. The soldiers will keep us safe. I hope so, she sniffs. But I can hear the monsters at night sometimes. Real ones, out in the jungle. I can hear them trying to get in. They're scary. You both look towards the wall. She does have those big ears. Maybe she really can hear the creatures gathering in the jungle, scratching at the walls, looking for weak points. The thought gives you shivers. She can, and she does. Poor sweetheart. Ooh, your mom seems unbothered by the torrential rain. She tips her face to the sky and smiles. Tell her what you learned today. Well, you haven't really been in school for a while, or even in engineering, but you tell Mom about some paperwork you had to deal with. You're pretty good at organization, so it was easy. Do you even know why we call it paperwork? Your mom laughs. It's true. It's not like you're sorting on actual paper. Back on Earth, we used to use paper to... Nah, never mind. She slaps you on the back. Good for you for having your your head together. Oh! Oh! Yes! Heck yeah! Give me persuasion. We need it. Can I help Dad with the animals yet? Not yet. We need 20. I have 18. Wait. Yes! Just to get us some more cards. We can swap this out real quick. Oh, all of a sudden. I know 2 seconds ago I wasn't ready, but now I'm ready. Your dad is working with the float cows. One of them is sick and isn't producing enough urine as a ballast, and it keeps wanting to float away. Your dad is using a spike so that he can tie her down until she feels better. You hold on to the leash, feeling like a little kid with a balloon, a big, woolly, gassy balloon. It looks down at you with placid, unblinking eyes. You can see yourself refracted in them. Weird. Neat. Alright, and then put that back. Alright, what to do? Maybe engineering, creativity, what are we at? We're at 71. So we should be able to get everything done. We'll see, we'll see. I'm gonna check and see if there's anything new outside, and if not, I'll load. I didn't see anything. Let's see. I'm gonna switch to this. And then let's do some engineering. Hi, kids! The ship's onboard intelligence, Congruence, glides into the room on her ceiling track, and the class cheers. Congruence is so cool. She's like a person, but also a machine. She knows a lot of jokes and can tell you anything about space. She never gets bored or frustrated by your questions. You all know me, she says, but I'll bet some of you have questions about how I work. What do you want to know? How do you know so many things? My brain is big, she explains. It's just enormous, really. Much bigger than this little monitor you see here, and it's connected to the ship's holonet. So anything you can look up on your holopalms, I just know. What's your job? Well, right now, part of me is showing animal videos to children in the creche, and part of me is here teaching you, but most of me is monitoring the engines which give us power, and the life support systems that make it comfortable here. Do you have to eat and poop? She laughs, which has never sounded quite the same as a real person's laugh to you. I guess you could say I eat electricity, but not the same way you get energy from food. But no, I've never pooped. I think it sounds kind of neat, actually. Okay, just listen. Congruence explains that she had to do all kinds of calculations to help fly the ship and land it, and that she was designed to provide a user-friendly interface to the ship's systems. But Hal has modded me for far more than that, she says proudly. Now I can even tell jokes. Why did the computer cross the road, she asks. I don't know why. Congruence smiles widely. Binary code. I did translate this in another episode, but I don't remember what it was. She did that on purpose, though. Alright, and let's mess with the photophoner a little bit. I would like to get some creativity up for when Nomi Nomi shows up. The photophoner, or phoner, is part flute and part paintbrush. You point the end of the phoner in the direction you want to paint, blow it into the other end, and it makes sounds and draws holograms in midair. It comes with a funny earpiece that fits in your ear and reads your thoughts. Well, not quite. More like it detects the electrical impulses in your head and draws those. You aren't really sure how to use it. Follow instructional vids. Great masters, or at least the people on these teaching vids, who you notice are just sitting in their bedrooms like you, who can create a whole animated scene. A lake, trees, a boat, a person on a boat fishing. You watch as the holographic image reels in something big, then a gigantic fish jumps up and swallows the boat with dramatic music to match. You could do this no problem. Honk! You have a lot of beautiful ideas, but what you get is a masterful honking noise and a pulsating, tangled knot of sickly green light that quickly fades away. At this rate, you'll never be as good as the masters. That's discouraging. Ask a friend for help. You look, but you can't find anyone else who plays the photophoner, like nobody in the whole colony. Mars tells you it's a dumb gimmick instrument, and the ones on the depot shelves have literally been sitting there since the Strato left Earth 20 years ago. You have better luck with the adults, but only barely. Auntie Sinan smiles when she sees you carrying the photophoner. Oh, those old things, she exclaims. I remember those. I took lessons as a kid, when they were popular for a hot minute back on Earth. I could play Do-Re-Mi on it, but that's it. Never got the picture part to work at all, honestly. Yes, you're on your own. Figure it out yourself. You sit down and experiment with it. The photophoner's different for every person, so figuring out how to play it is a personal experience. You let your instincts guide you. You wish it was as simple as thinking tree and it paints a tree, or even blue and it paints blue. No, for you it's more like, well, if you think about food, it paints lots of round bubble shapes. If you think about something that makes you angry, it draws orange squiggles. Mostly, your phoner pictures have a lot of purple lines that dance around. You guess that's your personal style, kind of like the swirly wormhole. Okay, actually once you stop worrying about being good and just thinking about how it feels, it actually starts to feel fun. Nice. I think we might do engineering one more time. Just because I want to raise that more. And we do have enough energy to do it. We only had to relax once this year. Proud of us. So let's switch this back on again. Because I would like to unlock robotics as soon as possible. Engineering. You're bringing supplies to the medbay when you see something unusual. Tangent curled up on a bench, her head pillowed under a rolled-up lab coat. She's fast asleep. You stop and stare. You've never seen Tang sleeping. She's always so busy. You're surprised she even has time to nap. You turn to leave her in peace when you bump into Nemi.
Whoa, Nemi says. She hardly ever sleeps. Just like a couple hours a night. Is she sick or something?
You look back at Tangent, snoozing peacefully. I forgot to grab the crystal from Mars. There it is. Alright, back to your regularly scheduled program.
I'm so jealous of her genetic enhancement, Nemi says, rubbing at one of the scales sprouting on her jawline. She hardly needs to sleep at all. She probably stayed up all night studying for this morning's history test.
Shh, let's let her sleep. Tang's holopalm beeps a soft alarm. She sits up and stretches, looking totally refreshed and alert. She sees you watching her and looks annoyed. Just a power nap, she says. No reason to gawk. Sorry. 4, 4. 2, 4, 4. And now it's time once again. 2 data points form a line, but 3 is a pattern. The colony has been on high alert, all glow, hoping that the creatures from beyond the wall don't return for a 3rd year in a row. Surveyors keep reporting that they're seeing unusual animal activity. Even the plants seem different. They say, and new tracks that must have been left by creatures larger and heavier than you've ever seen. You and the other colonists drill evacuation plans. You're in the class when the sirens start to ring. The other kids fall into an alert hush. This is one of the assembly points, so you should be safe here. But it wasn't so safe last year for Professor Hal. What if another creature gets in? You look at Professor Hal, and he looks back at you. Last year, you saved his life, right here. Hal clears his throat, visibly trying to stay calm. All right, children, he says, subconsciously touching his neck. Just remain seated. I'm certain everything will be fine. You've been told this before. As the sirens continue, you're faced with a choice. Sneak out. While Professor Hal is distracted, you crawl out from behind the table. What are you doing? Mars whispers angrily, but you ignore her. You creep along the back of the room, then quickly duck out of the classroom door and sprint down the hall before anyone can chase you. You slow to a walk as you near the outer doors of engineering. Something doesn't feel right. You stop to listen in the dim emergency lighting and hear the metallic popping of something overhead. In the ventilation ducts, your blood goes cold. Monsters! They're here! You follow the sounds to the workshop and force yourself to look up through the slats in the vent. You gasp. 2 glistening bug-like eyes peer down at you. No, 4. 6? They blink in syncopatic pairs. Then you hear it, over the sirens, a soft pinging noise, halfway between a chirp and a purr. The creature skitters spider-like from one side of the vent to the other. A small, furry tentacle slithers through the vat slats, searching for the vent release. When it can't find one, it bangs its body against the inside of the vent, denting the metal. Tame it! You will be my pets. You win it over by reading its body language and slowly building trust. It seems to want to join you, and you hope you'll be allowed to keep it. You look the species up on your holopalm and learn that Vricky, so named for the trills they make, which yours is making now, cuddling against your leg, are neither male or female, though they do require a mate to reproduce. So it's a they then. You decide to name it Wiggles. Okay, Wiggles it is. They blink every one of their beady black eyes at you, none of them in unison. They seem to have no problem with this name. It isn't long before the sirens turn off, ringing 3 short pulses as the all-clear message flashes on your holopalm. You and the other children file out of engineering, and you head back to your quarters. Your parents will want to know that you're safe. You manage to smuggle your new pet Vricky under your jacket and hide it under your bed before they arrive. Your dad gives you a big hug, but your mom slumps into the seat at your small table. It's like they were going specifically for geophonics this time, she mutters, but your dad pets your hair and shushes her. I'm sure it was just bad luck, Flulabelle, he says, but your mom shakes her head and folds her hands in front of her mouth, staring out the porthole window at the fields. Not good, but luckily, I think we should be safe this year. We still have time either way, because I think we're going to be able to survey this year now, but that means we're going to have to try and find Sim next year. That's my main important goal. I really want to find Sim. And we're getting very close. Closer than I normally get because I actually failed something instead of breezing through all the challenges because I'm just that cool. But either way, this is where we'll end it. Next year we're going to continue. We're going to keep raising our friendships. We're doing pretty good on that. And we'll go from there. But until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourself, take care of your wiggles and hop pops, and have a good day.